Squash Wellington. Welcome to Gussied Up. Today we are going to be making butternut squash Wellingtons. What? Squash Wellington is going to be the new centerpiece for any of your vegetarian holiday dinners. This butternut squash that I've peeled, you're just going to lob off the top. So you cut that in half. The neck of the butternut is going to become the filling for my Wellington. Give them a little brush, season them up with salt and pepper, and then into a 400-degree oven until they're nice and tender. About 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. We need to make a mushroom duxelle to go inside of our Wellington. A duxelle is just a stuffing made of finely chopped and then sauteed mushrooms. I'm using vegan feta in it so that this will be plant-based. A little bit of oil into your pan, and then I'm putting in 8 ounces of ground cremini mushrooms. I chopped them all up in my food processor. And this is gonna cook down quite a bit. Just give it a little toss so that everything is coated in the oil, and cook it down until they're nice and like the liquid all evaporates. It'll get very, very dark in color, and the volume is gonna shrink. A little stir, and then pat it out and let it cook for a few minutes until all the moisture evaporates. To season my duxelle, I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of onion dip mix. You've all had it before. It's like the French onion dip mix or French onion soup mix. And it's onion powder and tons of other little seasonings and then dehydrated onions. So we want to put them in while our mushrooms are still wet so that it reconstitutes all of that seasoning. It really creates a ton of flavor inside of this squash and mushroom Wellington. If you don't have that onion mix, just use salt, pepper, dehydrated onions, dehydrated garlic. Give it a little stir, and you can see it's cooking all down. Look, it's already starting to release some of the moisture and get smaller in size. I'm gonna stir in some vegan feta. You can also use traditional feta, or goat cheese is great in this. It just makes it a little bit creamier. That's 3 ounces of crumbled plant-based feta. You can also use traditional feta. Goat cheese would be great too, or cream cheese. Y'all know I like cream cheese. Are you loving these recipes? Please subscribe to our channel. Just press that little button. Maybe give it a like or a comment. All of that means so much to us when we're trying to create content and build a community of vegetarian and vegan friends. Okay, our duxelle's ready. So let's build our Wellington. If you remember, we roasted that butternut squash for 25 minutes at 400 degrees. Let your duxelle cool down for just a couple of minutes. You can't put hot ingredients into puff pastry. There's lots of plant-based puff pastries. Just grab one of those if you're making this vegan. They're usually in the freezer or refrigerated section. And I'm gonna roll mine out just a little bit more to about the size of a half of a sheet pan. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And to pick them up, you just roll onto your rolling sheet like that. Put your pan in and roll back out. This is a little bit delicate, so we're just gonna build onto the pan, right? You wanna cool down your mushrooms enough so that when you put the cheese in, it doesn't melt away. Add your mushrooms to your puff pastry. Now you're going to smooth that all out. This is gonna come over like a little envelope, right? Boom. So that kind of let you know where you need your mushrooms to go. And then the bottom rolls up on the edge, so you leave about a ½ an inch all the way around. That's looking pretty, right? So you can already see there's gonna be a ton of flavor. We have all of the onion powder, we have the vegan feta, we have our sauteed mushrooms. That's going to be very, very flavorful. What I do with this is, so that it's nice and flat, I lobe off the top usually, like this. Okay. Put down that butternut there. I do the same on my other side. Cut off the top. If you have larger butternut, you don't have to do this, but because mine was a little tiny, I go like that, like this, and then this guy gets stacked on top of that guy. So it's all the same size, right? And now we just close them up. It's no big deal, right? Nobody's gonna know. It's all stuffed inside of something. Let me show you how you fold this. We bring this all the way over, pull it, and you pull it back, and just wet along that edge, the top edge, because we're gonna fold this up. And then we're gonna just seal it, and you just kind of roll and press, and press. You need that water so that it seals. You're like, oh, is that it? Wait a second. We give it a little scoring, just very, very lightly across the top. That's gonna make sure that as the puff pastry cooks, it doesn't crack. The air escapes where we want it to, but it also makes it look even more attractive. It's all these little bitty details that make this feel like a special recipe. Lightly across the top, lightly across the top. And then to make sure that it browns beautifully, I'm gonna brush it with an egg wash or a plant-based egg wash. Looky there. And then that's gonna make it get nice and golden brown all over. We're gonna bake this at 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes until the top is golden brown and the pastry has puffed, hence the name puff pastry. Well, what a little angel. Look at her. Gorgeous, golden brown, so delicious. Here's the hard part about this. In order for me to try a bite, I'm gonna have to cut into this. It's just part of the job, you all. Can you hear that? The crunch. I cannot wait for you to see this. Looky there. What? Can you believe how gorgeous that is? Are you dying right now? So you have a layer of those sauteed mushrooms with our feta and then this tender little squash inside of there. Let's give her a try. Don't mind if I do. Oh my gosh, you all. You get so much umami punch from the mushrooms with that onion dip. It is out of control. It's ultra creamy because of our vegan feta. And then we have sweet, tender butternut squash enrobed in flaky puff pastry. I think it's just a perfect recipe. I'll see you next time, y'all. Bye.